I am an experienced police officer, but I invited a murderer to dinner. We call him Shadow. He is a fugitive who has been on the run for 30 years. The number of people he has killed is measured in tons. 30 years ago, he mysteriously disappeared. But a few days ago, we captured his figure. We followed him into the elevator and pretended to talk to him. This is not an ordinary apple. The camera successfully activated and happened to capture his full face.
Shadow's face acquired. Caught on camera.
Sorry, I'm not being rude. This rotten apple I spit out is an excellent camera. We've arrived at our floor now, but we don't live here at all. I felt the eyes behind me. I told the girl to use the delivery as cover, then used a special tool to pick the lock. It initially eased his suspicion. The next day, I ran into him again. He deliberately tested me, telling me another store was cheaper. But we had already investigated that place. I told him that store was the most expensive and the ingredients were bad. A cop isn't that easy to fool. He kept testing me, and I cleverly resolved every issue and used the chance to invite him to my home for dinner. He really came. This is the house we prepared in advance. He wanted to judge whether we just moved in. Based on the dust, I made an excuse to let him go into the kitchen to cook, to divert his attention. At the dinner table, I deliberately criticized the daughter for playing with her phone, to lure him into taking out his phone. Just like that, the two phones touched, and we successfully copied the data from his phone. The meal went very smoothly. I thought this was a successful operation, but I didn't expect he used himself as bait. I heard knocking on the door and thought the female officer came back again. Shadow quietly listened to the gunshots while the monitor on the colleague across from me still showed normal footage. The surveillance had been tampered with. He is Shadow's adopted son, a top hacker, and the one I was facing was his other adopted son, a top enforcer. Don't underestimate the strength of an old police officer. Even fighting a young man, I won't admit defeat. At that moment, my colleague finally discovered the abnormal surveillance. The next second, as the police mobilized, he also received a warning from his accomplice and started wildly shooting at me with a gun. I could only avoid him for the moment and watched helplessly as he walked out the door. When the police arrived, everything was already too late.